Hello, my nuggets. I am officially doing my first live stream. So, hello, Acid. I see you there. Thank you so much for joining. So, first live stream. Hopefully, there might be a little bit of troubleshooting that needs to be done. I'll make sure that volume and everything is working correctly. Please let me know if anything looks a little weird on the other side. It's been a while since I've actually live streamed. And this is something I would like to do maybe once or twice a week, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I think it will be a really good way to kind of keep up with everybody in real time and see what they're doing while I'm also doing the historical deep dives, which is cool. So looks like my internet's struggling a little bit. Hopefully everything is looking okay for you guys. Okay, but without further ado, let's get into the video, right? I'm going to be covering 4 videos that Candy released, mostly in February, but also one at the beginning of this month, and we will see how she's been doing with her weight loss. These are all from her second channel, Amazura Darkstar, and yeah, let's see how she's doing, shall we?
Hey y'all, today is Friday, February 7th. I'm just gonna do a quick weigh-in. I just woke up this morning, and I will be back a little bit later after I get makeup on to talk about everything. But yeah, let me just go ahead and do this little weigh-in this morning. All right, I gotta get up and get in position. All right, take that off. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Hello.
Hi.
It's ready.
Okay. Put that on. Okay.
Goodness, I can hear Red's breathing. It's just as bad in the background there. So I haven't watched, I've only watched one of these 4 videos that I'm going to be doing, but I do have a little update for my mental timeline that I'm trying to work out for Candy, and Red is actually her baby daddy. So he was the first husband that she married quite young too. So they've obviously been divorced since the 90s, I think, and he had moved back in seemingly to help her out.
Come on.
405.2 pounds.
405, ouch. 0.2. Okay. Pretty good. Oh, let me leave that back. Is that on? Like it off? Okay. 405.2. Yay. Oh, pretty good week. Pretty good week. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay, so she had quite a bit of weight loss, this one. I cannot quite make out. What was it, 416 down to 405? That's pretty good. Pretty good, and very different than what we'd seen from my first video where I covered her in January, which was pretty much just all weight gain. So she's obviously tried something a little bit different here, because the mukbangs are still absolutely happening twice a week. And yeah, so quite challenging to lose while still doing mukbangs. That's kind of impressive. Let's hear what she's done.
Hey y'all. So it's later in the day. And it's been a very tense day, but you know, not overly bad. But I did that weigh-in this morning when I got up, and it was awesome. I was like, I actually did the thing this week. And, I don't know, Friday I had that sandwich and wedge fries. But I didn't even eat all of it. I ate a little bit of the second sandwich and couldn't finish it. So, I had Red take it. And, I don't remember what I did Saturday exactly. Yeah, I don't even remember. But Sunday I started my factor. So the factor has been the factor in me actually losing a little bit of weight this week.
Okay, cool. So I actually forgot that she was doing factor. That's right. So pre-prepared meals, which I think, like I said in my first video about her, I think that's a really good way to do it. It's just that those things can be quite expensive. So I don't know if she got like a deal with them to, talk about them on her videos. But yeah, I mean, but if it's working, then why would you not continue with that? That's fantastic.
And I already know it's just water weight, dropping the water weight. But it's a start anyway. And I feel like January was like a non-starter. I was just trying to get my footing, get my bearings. I kept like carnivore, ketovore, low carb, It just, and it just wasn't working for me. I couldn't settle on a thing, and I was just all over the place. But factor is actually helping me learn portion control, because factor, it's about the size of a lean cuisine, and I think a lean cuisine has more food in it.
That is so critical. I think that when it came to if I'm just trying to get my thoughts together here. I'm a little anxious, my nuggets. This is my first live stream, but we're getting there. Okay, so my head's racing a little bit, so I'm just trying to temper my thoughts. So if you've watched a bunch of my previous videos, you'll know that I've struggled with seating disorders of a variety of types, ranging from where I started with, a lot of calorie restricting kind of behavior. And then something really shifted in my life, which led me down the crop loading kind of arena. And while I can't say that I've ever been at an extreme that is like Amber Lynn or like Candy, it's still been kind of a work in progress. And then on top of that, I've had to deal with a little bit of a clucky thyroid issue as well. So I've to a point been through what Candy's going through at the moment. And when you, especially in Candy's situation where we're talking about her food relationship has been so poor since even childhood, it's possible that she's never actually learned what a proper meal looks like. And to be able to teach yourself what correct portion control looks like is actually quite challenging, but so critical to learn. And unfortunately, it takes some time. And with Candy, for example, because we know that it is a trigger for her to feel like she's restricting food because of her childhood and undealt with trauma, then we know that if she sits down to a very tiny meal, or what she perceives is a tiny meal, then that could potentially cause her to swing back in the other direction. It's tricky with Candy because I think that she's on a very limited kind of trajectory time-wise. But if you're somebody at home who's also struggling with portion control, I really think that it needs to be this gradual thing of being honest with yourself and paying attention to what you're putting into your body, eating slowly, and monitoring how your stomach feels. And over the course of a few months, or really you do it until basically you start to learn what sensations your stomach gives you, rather than just overriding it with what you want to feed your body emotionally, if that makes sense. And it eventually gets to the point where that kind of overfilled, really kind of like stuffed feeling in your stomach starts to be associated with a negative connotation, because it's like, oh no, my body is uncomfortable at this point and this isn't what feels good to me anymore. So my concern, long story short, with Candy and Factor is that she's gone from seeing an appropriate meal as an exorbitant amount of calories and like size of food to something that is portioned for her, and that is going to be really challenging if she's not really honest with herself. Actually, something that Obese to Beast mentioned that I think is a great idea for these is he said he would add like a bunch of steamed veggies just to bulk it out, and that's of course going to keep you more full for longer, as well as like not really adding much in the way of calories but adding a huge amount in the way of nutrition, and that's awesome. But let's continue on. That's enough of me chatting away.
But anyway, it's, you know, and they have food, they have meals for all different types of dietary needs, you know, anywhere from like gluten-free to keto to calorie conscious, protein plus, things like that. And then there's gourmet, like gourmet plus, and it's all chef prepared meals, healthy ingredients. Probably the majority of the meals that I got are kind of keto, or, you know, something like that, because because most of them have like, they don't have like any pastas or anything like that in them. I've been getting like zucchini noodles and like broccolini and broccoli and lots of cauliflower grits, cauliflower mash. This morning for my early meal, I had it was a turkey and gravy with a spiced cranberry sauce, and it was on top of a potato and celery root mash, and on the side it had like shaved Brussels sprouts, like it was like shredded Brussels sprouts. That was so good, you know, and everything is like very rich and very flavorful. So
Yeah, wow, that sounds like a flavor explosion, which is kind of cool, because I think people when they think they're going to eat healthy, it's like it's going to be really bland. But it sounds like Factor might be taking into account that when you have a poor relationship with food, or you're like emotionally eating, sometimes it can be all about the food sensations, so the smell, the taste, the texture. And it sounds like they're really kind of playing with that angle, which is cool. I like it. It's nice. It's unusual.
You know, the majority of the meals that I've had so far, and from Sunday to Friday, I've so far had 8 out of 12 meals. And the majority have been 10 out of 10. They've all been really good. It was the seafood ones that I got. I tried some of the seafood. They had like a couple of things with Louisiana style shrimp over like cauliflower grits. It was good. It was no complaints, but those were probably a 7 out of 10. And I had one of those that had some salmon in it, and I was like, it was good. It was okay. But so I'm not gonna. I don't know exactly how long I'm gonna do Factor, because each week the box is probably about, you know, 100, anywhere between 150 to like 180 as far as I've seen so far. I mean, and that's not bad.
That's not bad. I'm too cheap for this. I'm too cheap. That just sounds very expensive to me. But I do all my own meal prep and cook in bulk and then freeze it off. I have a big chest freezer, but that's just the way that I find it to be easiest to maintain everything. But already we're kind of hearing that she doesn't know how long she's going to do it for. And that's concerning because we've just gone and established that she's lost a lot of weight from being on Factor. She's seeing results from being on Factor, but already we're getting these little, but I don't know how long I'm going to be on it. But the reality is that in a healthy, logical state, you would look at that and go, well, if it's working for you, why would you not just stay on it forever? And I do understand that finances are one thing, but potentially, you can take the ideas from Factor and then do home cooking in that kind of way. And I know that she herself can't do a lot of standing. She's in a very dire situation in that regard, but she does have Red there to help her. So it's already showing part of her concerning cycle.
And it's easy. The food just goes in the refrigerator, and it's ready for the microwave, and then I have lots of little snacks if I don't hit my calorie goal or whatever. So I'm good.
Has she told us what her calorie goal is? And I would be interested to know, is she doing this daily, or because of the mukbangs, is she doing it weekly? Because obviously those days where she's consuming a huge amount of food, it's going to heavily offset the other days. So is she doing anything to try and counteract that? And see, this is why I don't like the mukbangs as part of her routine like this, because it just starts to be like, well, if you're going to consume a huge amount on this day, then are you going to counteract on this other day where you're barely eating anything at all? And that's not great either, because you don't want to get into that like famished state. Hi, Cantarella. Thanks for saying hi. I am fully aware, starting streaming, I'm going to be shouting into the void for a little while, but thank you so much for saying hello. It's nice to see you here. Please give me a heads up if there's anything wrong with the video and volume and all that jazz.
Actually, this whole week from Sunday to Friday, I've been at a calorie deficit. I think there was just one day that I was like maybe 30 calories over, and I've been really trying to pay attention in my Fitness Pal, because I'll look at the calories on the box and then I'll compare it, and I'll actually go down the list when I enter a food item. I'll go down the list and find the ones that have the exact calories that it gives on the box or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's done. That's good. But if she's saying, okay, oh, that's awesome. Everything seems great. Cool. So if she's saying that she is running a calorie deficit, the way that she said it just then makes me think that she's only just running a calorie deficit. I could be reading into it. I don't know. But to run an engine of that size is actually quite a few calories to like way more than what somebody of proportional height and weight kind of situation. So she's probably still heavily overeating for what is healthy, but that's going to be problematic for when she does start to lose weight, because eventually the energy required to run the engine will get lower and lower, if that makes sense. So there's probably still a huge amount of wiggle room, even though she's getting these Factor boxes. I would love to see her Fitbit, not her Fitbit, sorry, Fitness Pal data. Would love to see it. But at least she seems to be paying attention to calories, and that's the most important thing.
So I'm being as precise as possible, and I'm pretty sure that's how this happened this week. And I've been anywhere from 1,500 to around 2,000, and 2,070 is my calorie goal on my Fitness Pal. So I try to get around there, but I'm staying under as far as I can too.
Okay, well, color me wrong. I take back everything I just said. So 2,070 calories should be a fairly large deficit for her, and should still be a reasonable amount of food. something that I found really helpful to get around my brain kind of, getting stuck in the but I'm hungry kind of loop, and then you start craving sugary things and all that, is to really try and fill the calories that are being consumed with as much nutrition and as much bulk as possible. And you start to look at things comparatively, like, oh, well, 100 calories of like a Mars bar or a chocolate bar is like a tiny bite compared to 100 calories of vegetables is a huge amount. And so when you're filling up on things, you start to not think as much about eating the other snacks and things like that.
And some days with this metformin I could probably go less, but I just I've been trying to like make sure to get enough in me, and even have something else. Even if I'm not quite hungry, I'm just making sure to get the food in me so I don't like panic later and be like, oh no, I need something. There was one night, I think it was maybe Wednesday night, I was, I had gotten all of my food in, and I started craving something sweet, and I was like, oh, I need something sweet. And I have these zero sugar packets of ocean water, like my Sonic mukbang, I had gotten the ocean water, so I got these zero sugar ones, and it's like, I think 10-15 calories maybe, so it's not bad, and that was so sweet. I couldn't even finish, I did like a giant glass. I mean, it was like almost full, like one of my big red glasses, and it was almost full, and and it was still like just too sweet.
So these, 0-calorie artificial sweeteners are quite. You want a Mars bar? I'm sorry. Just like 420 calories for like wait, are you American or are you an Aussie? Because Mars bars are very different in America than they are in Australia. Very different things. Now I've lost my train of thought. You've got me thinking about Mars bars. I cannot have a Mars bar. Yes, the artificial sweeteners. So the 0-calorie sweeteners, there have actually been some studies done to suggest that although they are 0-calorie, it may not actually benefit weight loss at all. Oh, Germany. I don't know what. Okay, describe your Mars bars. I'll tell you if it's the same. Lost my train of thought. Oh dear. Yeah, there's been some studies to suggest that they aren't actually beneficial for weight loss because the body is still interpreting that there's something sweet that's gone into the system, and therefore the insulin response and things like that still operate, and it can be not a good thing. There are very like contradicting kind of studies in that area, though. I'll say that. But maybe having a sweet craving and indulging it might not actually be the best thing for her behavioral element at the moment. But, if she needed it, she needed it.
It's too sweet for me. But overall, the non-scale victories this week is I'm feeling a lot better in my joints. Not the sciatica is still an issue. Is still like screaming down my leg, and I'm like, and every step I take is crunchy. But the more I move, the better it's gonna get. I mean, I'm knocking on wood because it's just what I'm hopeful for. The more I do stuff, the better I'll get. And now with Red gone, y'all know he left today. Yeah, he's gone. He's not here anymore. My apartment's clear.
Wow, I didn't realize he was leaving. So that's quite concerning, because I would say, Candy at this point is just barely mobile. And I think running a household, running just herself, is going to be very challenging without somebody there to help her. So that's a hindrance for her.
Oh, that's my That's my ibuprofen. Yep, Red's not here. But yeah, and I mean it wasn't a big issue, you know, that we had or anything. We're on good terms. There's no issues. I love him and I wish him well, and he's the same with me, you know. And I mean, but this was another lesson I needed to revisit, you know. And he was very helpful while he was here, and I feel like it afforded me a chance to like really reset without ordering takeout all the freaking time. I mean, that's what was killing me. I was in so much pain, I was just ordering takeout, you know. But I mean, even if I'm in extreme pain, I can sit on a stool and put something in the microwave. Sorry, I had a timer go off.
So that's tricky, isn't it? Because I always find that the easiest way to like not eat the food that you don't want to eat is to not buy it in the first place. But when you're in a situation where like she would have to order groceries to be delivered, I assume that she can't drive or anything at this point. So when the exact function is to get the right food is the same as the function to get the wrong food, that would be challenging. It's just so easy, isn't it? It's not even like she needs to get up and go walk to the place.
I'm gonna be meeting a friend on video in a little bit and for a little chit chat and stuff. But I wanted to touch base with you guys, you know, while I had you, or while I had a moment. Because once I get done with my friend, I'm gonna take me a nap because I got all of 3 hours last night / this morning. Oh man. And I just finished my mukbang. I had El Pollo Loco today, and I ate as much as I could, but I'm getting so used to like eating less. I know it's going to be very disappointing to some people that I like ate one chicken breast and probably 3/4 of a small loco salad.
I haven't actually seen that video that she's discussing. I'll have to go check it out. But I don't know if the amount of time that she's been doing this would actually result in her feeling like she is actually used to eating smaller amounts. And I tend to think that this is a little bit like what we see with Amber Lynn, where she's actually vocalizing what she wishes were true. It's not that she's lying, I don't think. I think it's just either that or saying what she thinks we want to hear. But yeah, I'll have to check out that other video. If you've seen it, let me know. How much did she eat?
And chips. Yeah, so that's what I was getting at. I'm not doing carnivore. I'm not doing keto. I'm not even doing low carb. At this point, staying in a calorie deficit and learning portion control. That's my goal right now.
Yeah, and that's perfect. I agree with that. I think it's really easy to overthink weight loss, especially when you start listening to like these fitness influencers that are like, oh no, carbs are the enemy, and then others are like, oh no, carbs are your friend, and there's all this contradictory information, and there's a lot of information. Like if you've ever studied nutrition, there's a lot that can go into it, but the reality is, unless you are heading down right towards your goal weight, or if you're training for something in particular, don't overthink it. Just calories in, calories out. If those numbers are not mathing, double check what you're logging, and if it's still not mathing, then go to a doctor, because maybe there's an underlying health issue that can be sorted out, and then it can all be treated from there. But I like that approach. Keep it simple.
That and moving more around the apartment. I have some resistance bands to work with. You know, I can hook them on my feet and do like footy exercises with my legs and work on my arms and, you know, lifting and stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, it's crazy. I feel like you see I got an elbow. I got an elbow, y'all. There's an elbow there, and it's probably dirty.
Okay, I'm really happy that she's celebrating having an elbow. I love that for her. I do. But we're only talking about from the beginning of this year a difference of like, well, she started at 517, she's now at 505, so 12 pounds. So this is what I mean by I think she might be saying what she wishes were true and overhyping that. Just my feeling. Yeah.
I just think it's funny. And it's even more funny that this arm is like, oh, sorry, my rash is starting to get a little bit better. It's like if I could quit like scratching at it and stuff, it would heal much quicker. And this is starting to get a lot better too. So it's healing. I just have to stop touching. Don't touch it.
She says as she's touching. Those rashes scare me. I don't, you know how I've discussed, everybody has their line about what is acceptable and what's not. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never struggled with my weight, and I'm still on a journey myself. But that sort of thing is absolutely a line for me. And I don't know that I would have ever like let myself get to that point. I don't mean to sit here in judgment of anyone who has. It's just that these lines of acceptability versus things that need to be changed are different for everybody. And that, what she just showed, that scares me.
Don't touch it. But anyway, you guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, you know, and going all this journey stuff. You know, because I know it's a big freaking roller coaster. But I just feel like I fell off last February, and I'm climbing back on this February. You know, I took a year.
Hey, St. Lucia. You always wonder if Candy was hurt by Nikocado secretly losing weight. I wonder if she knew or if he just kept it from everyone and she kept it a secret. I don't know. She did actually say in my first video, I think I remember her saying that she can't just take a year or two off YouTube to look after her health. And I felt like she was referencing Nikocado in that. So I almost wonder if she views it as that he had a privilege based on his set of circumstances that she just doesn't have, which might indicate resentment, maybe. It's an interesting take.
You're off of my diet situation or my weight loss or health journey or whatever you want to call it. I'm just like, this metformin has me not even wanting to eat at all. I'm like, I don't want to eat, but I'm like, I'm getting it in, so if it hits me later, I don't like panic and like, oh, I gotta just order something, you know, because I don't want to do that. I've got food in my refrigerator. I've got food in my pantry. I've got factor meals. I've got snacks if I need it, like little 100-calorie, 150-calorie snacks, you know, if I just have to have something, you know, sweet or salty or whatever. So, I mean, I'm not expecting to lose this kind of weight next week. My weight loss goal, period, all the way through is low and slow, 2 pounds a week. That's my goal, 2 pounds a week. If I lose any more than that, yay. If I don't, okay.
I do wonder if that is by medical advice, because like 2 pounds a week is essentially a kilo. That is a really like nice, safe way to do it. I just worry for somebody like Candy with the health concerns that she's got going. Is that going to be too slow? I don't know. I mean, I'm not privy to her medical records. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. I think this situation should be treated as dire. And the sad reality is that given some of the bits and pieces of health information that she's given us, Candy may be in a situation where every mukbang she does is rolling the dice. And I feel like the emergent nature of this situation is not being acknowledged.
But I'm not going to
Which, by the way, sorry, we know Candy does.
beat myself up over it. I'm just going to continue to do the best that I can. But anyway, love you guys, and I'll see you next Friday, or next Saturday, that is. Bye now. Mwah.
Okay, so that was, bear with me here. That was the 8th of February. And now we will be moving to, oh, my sorting system. I need to improve this. I am so sorry, guys. The 15th of February. Or the 14th.
Hey y'all. Today is Friday, February 14th, and I'm due for my weigh-in. It's been a pretty good week. I haven't had any complaints. It's just been pretty, uneventful, really. After Red left, I've just been chilling here in my place. I had my cleaner come yesterday. Well, she was able to come yesterday. So everything's kind of back in order, except I have a crap ton of laundry to go out when my laundry person comes on Monday. So,
Isn't it wild that we live in a day and age where literally everything like this can be taken care of? You know, she's got her groceries coming in, she's got her food being delivered, she's got a cleaner, she's got a laundry service, you know, so all she needs to do is look after like her own physical self, which I kind of wonder if that's leaning more into enabling her to be the way she is. Like, how much realistically could be done. You know, housework is a really great workout, for example, and how much is being done to challenge her muscles and challenge herself physically to be able to do these things. I don't know. I'm just asking questions because it could be that she is really in a bad state and can't do these things. But all I'm thinking is that her insurance had rejected the weight loss medication that would be life-saving for somebody like this. And she's spending a lot of money on, you know, these extra things that maybe could be saved. I don't know. Look, I'm sitting here as the queen of frugal. I actually sat down in one of my videos to go over my budget. I actually wound up not including it because I legitimately thought that people wouldn't believe me. I am so good at saving all the money. But I can't help it. I just want to get my hands on her budget because I feel like I could find it in her budget to get this medication. Yeah, it does sound expensive to hire help each week. And I don't know, like, because I'm sitting here in Australia and yeah, our cost of living is very high here as it is in America. But maybe those sorts of services are like cheaper over there. I don't know, but yeah, I just want to see the budget. Give me the budget.
you just comforters and bedding and things like that, from like my bed, his bed, you know, blankets that have been used and whatnot. So just, just typical, stuff. I have my therapy next week, so this is like a free week. I don't really have anything going on. Monday, I'm planning on...
I just wanted to say, by the way, I'm so grateful that I have viewers. I was so ready to just be here all by myself doing a live reaction, so thank you.
on calling. I got up today. It was after 5 p.m. when I got up today, so I'm going to call Monday to see about getting a doctor's appointment set up. Woo, and, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm just one day at a time in it. Still trying to stay in a calorie deficit. As y'all know, I had...
I don't like those words. one day at a time, which we've heard from her since the beginning, and I'm trying to stay in a calorie deficit. So this is different language than we just saw in the previous video, which makes me concerned for her weigh-in for this video.
Cheesecake Factory. What else did I have this week? Oh, no, well, that was my Tuesday meal, so that was my big thing for the week. And I just ate half of it. Don't ask me what I did with the rest, because I don't want to know.
We don't want to know. Why? What? Oh, that makes my imagination go wild. That's worse than not telling us. Oh, thank you, Cantarella. That's so nice of you to say. I'm just here doing what I do, and you know, if people want to join, that's awesome. I'm excited to do so, but I enjoy looking at these people. I think they're fascinating, and I think we can learn from them. So yeah, thank you though. I'm blushing. Oh.
Anyway, so let me just get to the weigh-in part. I'm back over in my spot that I was doing before. I'm gonna be doing the jungle gym, hanging on stuff, but I feel safe that way. So anyway, here we go. All right, there we go. Yep, and y'all see my shoes over there. Guess what? I had shoes all this time. They were way up in my closet. Red told me he couldn't find them, so I was SOL on that. But my cleaner, she found them because she's thorough. She likes to actually look for things instead of just saying, oh, I did it, but then didn't actually do it.
Is that shade on Red? Is that... Okay, look, I haven't made up my opinion on Candy. I think she has a lot of really valid reasons to be the way she is. I think that she's probably a little bit self-destructive, but like I understand a lot of people like her. I'm not really falling one way or the other, but I don't necessarily like that that's how we're talking about the man who moved in to help you, right? A little bit of shade. I don't know. Maybe something happened and there was some words or something that caused him to move out, and she's a little dirty on that. But yeah, I don't know. Just, it's a bit yuck.
Anyway, all right. Let me see about getting up here. Okay. And I've got my brake locked on, so I can hopefully stand up with no real issues. Brake off. Let me roll it over here so it helps my stability a little bit. Brake on. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
It's ready.
Okay. Okay. I'm up.
Wow, can I just say, is this the same scale that Amber Lynn has? I don't know if you guys also watch Amber Lynn, but it has on the top of it XL-550, which I'm wondering, is that talking about the maximum pounds that it goes to? And does that mean that Amber is actually not that far off, like, capping that out? I don't know. It's possible that they use the same, like, voice chip on all of them. I could be way off.
Oh. Come on.
401.2 pounds.
401.2. Okay, off. Whew. Okay. Break off. Do my little shuffle backwards. 401.2, I think it said. Okay. Well, I've had a loss this week. So that's... Bye. So that's a good thing. All right, y'all. I'll talk more in a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a pretty decent loss too, and it's within her goal. And I think that sharp decline initially makes sense, and then a little bit more tapering. So it still shows that she's doing the right behavior at this stage. Do we think she can keep it up all February?
Hey, y'all. I'm just sitting here waiting on food for my mukbang. I'm having some Dan.
When did you live in Australia? $129 a year. That is unheard of. So at the moment, my car insurance, it is comprehensive. Maybe you just had a third party, but I'm like paying over 600 per year. So yeah, Australia it's rough. As is I guess the whole world's economy at the moment.
Noodles tonight with a spring rolls and a beef and onion pot sticker. Yeah, it sounded good tonight. As I went through all the menus, and that was the place I chose. Anyway, what I'm here to say is, well, fuck.
2015. I love that. Yeah, so I guess that sounds pretty similar. I do wonder if in the US, I don't know if it works the same, but do you also still have the lowest insurance possible? Not making fun. I like a frugal queen, okay? Just saying.
I got started and I already kind of forgot where I was going with this, but yeah, people keep asking kind of what happened with me and Red. Nothing happened. Nothing. We kind of started having a few little problems even in the beginning. We both have our little issues. So, I mean, it was challenging and stuff, but made it work for as long as I needed to. I kind of got myself resituated and got my head kind of in the right space that I needed to be in to accomplish what I feel like I need to accomplish. And the place that he was waiting to get into opened up, So, hey, he's where he wanted to be, where he needs to be. And, I'm better off for it. So, it is what it is. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a challenge as far as financially. The man had no job, no source of income whatsoever. He was living with our 26-year-old son in a weekly hotel room that had 2 beds, okay? And our son has a girlfriend, so I'm...
Okay, so that's interesting. I always find Candy does a little bit of double talk, and I think the first thing that she says is usually the truth, but then she tries to soften it a little bit. Seems to be a bit of a pattern with her, and I'm not saying always, but in this case, I think my gut says she gave us the truth where she said they had their problems, which is understandable. They have history. There's probably water under the bridge, and it would be challenging for 2 adults with, their set up quirks and all that to move in a non-romantic way, and one of them is being a full-time carer. That would be a challenging situation for anyone. And I do kind of wonder if because the last video in my first video that I covered, he was shocked that she wasn't losing weight, and I do kind of wonder if that was why he was there and he got fed up with her not losing weight potentially. I don't know. But then she goes and talks about oh, well, he was living in a hotel room with our son and he had a girlfriend. It was, cramping their style and he needed somewhere to be. And it just, yeah, it's a lot of, well, which one is it? Or is it both?
Just come stay with me until you have a place to go. So that's what happened. People are trying to make it all like I did horrible things to him or something, or he did something horrible. Nobody did anything horrible. It was temporary. It was temporary. I said it from the beginning. I got my doctor stuff started. I'm on metformin. I'm going back to the doctor. Y'all saw I got my chews. And this I need some more jackets. This is like the only sweater I have right now. I know I had another one, but he couldn't find it. Somehow he just, I'm betting you anything, it's in my closet right here in the living room.
We've got more red shade. My goodness. Oh dear.
My red jacket. I used to have like a red jacket. Anyway, I had my cleaner come. She found my shoes. I should have had her look for my jacket too, but this is good for now. This is fun. Anyway, so I'm gonna get that started next week and take it from there. Ugh. So icky in my lungs. I wish I could get that steroid pump that the doctor wanted me to get. He's prescribed 2 different kinds now. You know, this second time I went back to him, you know, where we talked about doing the physical that I haven't had yet, because circumstances and stuff. He prescribed another one of the pumps, and nope, sorry, can't have it. Too bad, you know. You don't need air.
Yeah, the way American insurance works just blows my mind. And I know that there's actually like a black market for asthma inhalers, which just seems absolutely wild that that's the state of affairs. But this is what I mean by I feel like the emergency of this situation is not being acknowledged, because like that cough, even if it is caused by something like asthma, where it's, you know, unrelated to obesity is not going to be helping, and all of these systems are going to be under so much more strain that, you know, at her age, it's just going to be compounding one thing after the other. And, you know, how long can this be sustained in this way?
Anyway, I just wanted to address that. I mean, it's like the elephant in the room. What happened with Red? So anyway, Red's safe. My son's got his space, you know, like he needs as a 26-year-old young man with a girlfriend and a life, you know. You know, and for those that are wondering, my daughter's doing okay too. She's fun. I mean, she's having, you know, life stuff going on. So,
Yeah, exactly, Cantarella. I agree with you. And especially when you have a woman like this being presented or being prescribed life-saving medication like the, you know, Ozempic or whatever, and having an insurance company go, no, you don't need that, is just wild to me.
extended a hand to her. You know, we've chatted here and there, you know, we talk. I mean, she's just so freaking busy. She's got, my son's really they're both busy people. They're both in their 20s. They've got life going on. They've got their own personal dramas and things that they're dealing with, you know. So I'm just trying to be there for whatever advice I can give as a 53-year-old screw up. You know, my daughter's already thinking she's messed her whole life up. It's like, honey, you've got time. You've got time. I promise to fix it. Just one day at a time. That's it. Anyway, you know, so that's another thing that I wanted to clear up. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because I've got stuff coming to me, and I love y'all very much, and I will see y'all next week. Bye now. Mwah.
Okay, my nuggets, I have been a hydrated chicken, so I just need a very quick break. I will be back for the next 2 videos. One moment, please. Okay, back. I swear, hydration is seriously the difference between my losing weight or not that week. It is so important. Okay. So, next one is the 22nd of February. What's been going on?
Hey y'all, today is Friday, February 21st, and I'm about to do my weigh-in, and I've had a pretty bad week, y'all. I mean, stuff has happened, and and I haven't wanted to talk about it yet, but I'll get to it. Anyway, let's see if I can do this. Oh, mercy. I'll try to get up here. Owie, owie, owie. Okay. All right. Oh. Yep. Oh. Not doing great, you guys. All right.
Hello.
There we go.
It's ready.
Okay, let's see if I can step on this thing. Oh, mercy. All right. Oh, ouch. Okay, here we go.
400.6 pounds.
400.6. Oh boy, okay. Well, not cracking 400 just yet.
Okay, so she said she's had a bad week, and we are now in kind of the territory of, yes, it's a loss, but it could be a loss of just like, natural body fluctuations. It's not like a definitive, oh, yes, I couldn't have just done this based on, like dehydrating myself or going to the bathroom or something like that. So that doesn't make me hopeful based on like the trajectory that she had before.
But I'm getting there. Whew. Yeah, it could have been a better week. But yep. So not my best.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, a loss is a loss. I'll take it. But yeah, I know what went wrong this week. A little more eating out than I probably should. But I had company come. Yeah, I had an emergency happen Tuesday night. And so I was a little out of it, from my mukbang on Tuesday. Well, that I shot Tuesday. Wednesday was eventful. But oh god, anyway, what had happened was I came out here to do my mukbang on Tuesday evening, and I saw paper in my door. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I know I've talked about it. There's been music and people, like cutting up and, oh geez, freaking hair. I'm so distracted all the time. But yeah, there's been an issue in this building, a noise issue. Things have been happening here. And, I've reported it. I said, y'all have a problem here. I mean, I've reported things in the past, they need to kind of like monitor stuff because, people have been like stealing packages and things have been going on and stuff. But I mean, the packages, that hasn't been a problem in a long time.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here listening to this and thinking we're getting a very long-winded story about something that I feel like is leading to an excuse. just my feeling. And I don't know where she's going with this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but just my feeling, I feel like there's something coming.
I mean, I still don't trust it. But Anyway, the notice in the door was a 3-day notice to vacate the premises, basically.
Ah, yes, that will do it. That is unpleasant. I don't think anybody would find this, just a cruisy day. But what I'm kind of getting from this story is that this is potentially not for her, because again, I'm not sure how it works in America, but that seems weird to just out of the blue get a 3-day notice. That would actually be illegal here. So,
3 days to gather all my crap and get the hell out. What? What? And on the notice it said, they had like the little check boxes and stuff, and anyway, basically in the part where they had to like write out what the deal was, it was like typed in. Basically it said that there were multiple noise complaints, confrontations.
Okay, so this is clearly a mistake. This is clearly that they've put it on the wrong door or something, because if she said that she is reporting noise issues, she wouldn't be the one getting the notice, right? I'm sus.
Between residents, to the point that the police were called. And I'm like, that's not right. About a little over a week ago, I had heard like the little, the sound of like the police radio where it goes like beep or boop or whatever. It's the little beep sounds. And I heard the talking out in like the courtyard area, between, apartments and stuff. And I was like, oh, there's police out there. They're talking to some people. I'm like, but I had missed what was going on because I had my headset on. I have the noise canceling headphone thing, so I hear a little bit of stuff, and I'll pop an ear out and I'll listen some more. And I was like, oh, okay.
So confirmed in America, 3-day notice is ridiculous. Yeah, I feel like most, first world countries, this would be odd, because you have a right to be able to, without having events happen, obviously, if you're regularly causing a disturbance and things like that, then there's a process. She is over dramatizing this, I think, and I think that this is leading to my gut feeling here. We're going to say, this made me so anxious that I had to eat. And I think when you're dealing with this kind of, addiction, this kind of seating disorder, that any sort of little excuse can be latched onto to say, oh yeah, that's okay, I'm just going to eat. But the reality is you've got to be responsible for your body, right? And at this point, every little slip up matters. So let's hear it out. My feeling is, look, this is a mistake. Call the, whoever the manager and say, this was clearly meant for somebody else. Please take it off mine and put it somewhere else.
That's just the cops talking to people. I was like, that's good. That's good. They're talking to somebody. So I just, put my headset back on my ear and went back to watching TV and stuff like that. So I didn't think anything of it, but I was like, these people have the wrong apartment. I'm like, oh my God. So I was a little disturbed Tuesday evening when I shot and stuff, and I talked to some friends about it and everything, and well, the following day I started making phone calls. Obviously, I didn't sleep at all Tuesday night, not a wink. Oh, not.
I do understand this, because she is clearly somebody that really struggles with anxiety disorders. And I think when I was at my worst with my anxiety, this absolutely would have been something that fully destabilized my world, even though logically it's a mistake and that you can deal with it and it's probably just one phone call. But like I say, my biggest concern is that I think this is leading to an excuse.
not a wink. And the Buffalo Wild Wings that I ate, that was all that I ate for the whole night. But my friend Brian, he called them. You know, he had already made plans. He was going to come out here and you know, go down there and you know, talk to him for me and stuff. He's like got knowledge of like real estate stuff like that, and law and things like that. So I was like, oh, thank God.
So she's gotten herself into such a state that she actually needed to get somebody to call for her. This is that kind of arrested development that I find the most fascinating and that I relate to the most. And if you notice, all of the people on my channel that I talk about all have this in common. But the problem is, if you've heard my theory about a fear monster, where when you feed or give into the fears and you avoid them like this, you're feeding the fear monster that gets bigger. And as it gets bigger, it gets seemingly insurmountable. It gets harder and harder to feel like you can conquer this kind of thing. And these kind of like little battles, because I say it's little because we know it's a mistake, right? It's clearly a mistake. So this would have been a great thing for her to, yes, get the legal advice and know her rights, but then stand up and make the call as a grown-ass adult to say, I need this fixed because this isn't right. So instead, she's gotten somebody else to do it for her, and she's fed her fear monster a little bit, which is just a little bit more ammunition that the fear monster then has over her.
Somebody can help me, because I felt helpless. I mean, I was already looking at apartments and packing and moving companies. I was like, how am I going to do this? You know?
And see, these sorts of thoughts, these shouldn't even be entering her mind at this point, because it's not for her. So right about feeding fears, yeah. So I'm somebody that I don't want to sound like you know, like Anne Boleyn, where I've been diagnosed with everything, but I've struggled with OCD. Not the cute kind, not like the kind where, oh, I like things just ordered, so I mean the real kind. And I find the absolute easiest way to deal with these fears is to regularly keep them in check. And as soon as I have a little fear pop into my head, I'm like, oh no, now I need to do this. And it's so much easier now because the flywheel is going. Hey Rosebud, hello. Thank you for saying hello. I'm so glad you're here. So it is really, really hard to start that at first. And I fully acknowledge that. I've been there. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of being really, really honest with yourself to be like, yeah, I'm operating under fear at the moment. And I even experienced that with this live stream today. Yesterday I was doing all the preparation for the assets and everything. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit scared that what if nobody turns up to talk to me? And so then I'm like, well, now I really have to do it. And there's no letting myself out of that then. And then I come on live stream. Best case scenario, I have lovely people like you coming and watching. Worst case scenario, I've put up a video that people can then watch after the fact, which, hello, if you're after the fact nuggets. But that's, for me, the easiest way to keep fears in check.
Oh, so it was extremely stressful. I mean, I had situations where I literally, I felt my heart like boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. But anyway, he got on the phone with them, and you know, he talked to them about my situation. You know, I'm I'm almost 53 years old. I live alone. I hardly ever leave my apartment, you know, and anyway, he worked it out with them and stuff, and they were supposed to give me a phone call and work out some kind of like, what do you call it? They were gonna like, he wanted them to come to the apartment and meet with me, and go over all of any kind of evidence and all the reports, and you know, we were going to want to see a copy of the police report and stuff like that. So I mean, it was a thing. It was like I was trying not to freak out too much because you know, I've been very, very fortunate in my life. I mean, there's been some gnarly things happen to me and whatnot, but somehow I always get by. You know, somehow the universe always, you know, takes care of me. So I knew regardless of which way it went, I was going to be fine.
That's the thing to remember. I don't know if anyone listening has ever gone through some really sticky situations in their life. But for the most part, things tend to work out. It's very rare, especially if you're living in a country like this where things are going to be so devastating. And the reality with humans is that we have a superpower. We are so good at adapting. We're really, really good at that. The thing that we're not good at is acknowledging that we're good at adapting. And so this change happens and we're like, oh no, the world is ending. We cannot do this. Everything's going to be different. It's all going to be wrong. And then the reality is like a week in, you're like, oh yeah, okay, everything's fine. Happy to be here. Oh, you enjoy my videos. That's so nice. Nice to hear. I'm enjoying putting them out too. Are you guys all subscribers? By the way, I'm not sure if the streaming software that I'm using lets me know if people subscribe or anything like that. So I need to look into this. I'm used to streaming on Twitch, so I'm really familiar with that, but not so familiar with YouTube. So anyway, let's continue.
You know, so once I like relaxed into that, you know, things just kind of fell into place. So they were supposed to make an appointment to come out here and talk to me on Thursday, or that was the plan. And he was going to come out here, you know, to be there for me when they came to kind of help me, you know, if I started like stumbling over my words, which I do, you know, when I'm talking to like authority figures, I'll start stumbling. And if I get too overwhelmed, I'll just crumble and start crying, you know, for no reason. Well, there's reason, because I'm extremely stressed and anxieties, you know, like, whoo. But anyway, when they finally got around to calling me, which was afternoon, you know, and like I said, I had been up. I was just too. Anytime I tried to relax my brain, I was like going over in my head what I'm gonna say to these people, like, because, you know, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, you are subscribers. Oh, thank you so much. I love that. I'm so glad you're here.
I mean, yeah, I moan a little loud over my food, but it's not like I'm blaring music at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It's not me. I'm not doing that. I'm not out in the parking lot revving my engines and, you know, shooting guns or fireworks or whatever. You know, like, oh, mercy. Whew, yeah. So that was something. But anyway, they called me back that afternoon, and the management lady that I talked to, she apologized profusely for upsetting me. That they had talked to multiple people, I guess, in the building, and they discovered that I was not the problem. You know, somehow, you know, they got the apartment mixed up or whatever.
Yep, as I thought. So she's worked herself up and also compounded a fear in the process and released all of that cortisol into her system, as well as creating a nice little excuse for herself. I am sad to say.
I mean, but it was my name and my apartment number on the thing, you know, so. Oh my God. So y'all, I almost got evicted. I mean, it wasn't an actual eviction thing. It was a 3-day notice to vacate, which, you know, Brian says that's not legal. They can't do that. They have to, after your first notice, they have to give you at least like 7 days to, like, you know, I guess figure out if you know, the accusations are correct or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I was preparing myself to just, you know, F off, you know. But thankfully, the notice is voided. They sent the voided notice to whatever, you know, people they needed to send it to or whatever. So I'm cool. I'm like, this is my home. Y'all, I don't want to leave yet. I mean, yeah, I'm wanting to move at some point, but it's like right now I'm comfortable and cozy in my little hobbit hole, you know, and even though the neighbors kind of cut up a little while, you know, every now and then, it's okay. You know, anywhere I go, there's going to be some noise. You know, it's not a big deal. But yeah. So that was stressful, but Brian, he had already like made his, you know, reservations to stay. So we ended up having Burger King. I mean, I just ate one meal that whole day. I had Burger King. I had a double Whopper with cheese, French fries, and a Diet Coke. Oh, and an order of chicken fries. That was all I ate Wednesday. Okay. Thursday, yesterday, I ordered pizza. So yesterday I ate a whole bunch of cheese pizza. I had it was from that Yukon pizza place that I like.
Okay, so very high sodium foods, which may actually be clouding that weigh-in a little bit. Cheese has a load of sodium in it, and of course we're talking about her calories as well, but theoretically if she was doing what she was supposed to be doing the other days with her calories, it probably would have evened out okay. But that sodium could potentially be causing her to hold water and making that loss look less than it should have been.
Like so much, so I had pizza, probably about 3 pieces of the pizza, lots of cheese, ricotta, whatever, tons and tons of garlic. So it was a healthy pizza's a vegetable. The vegetable was garlic.
And here's the thing, because we're clearly talking about an addiction scenario here, right? This is not just a poor relationship with food. There are coping mechanisms in place that are all surrounding food. And although she's saying that she absolutely has to be doing the mukbangs for her income, which I disagree with. I think that is a lie that she's telling herself to make herself feel like she's got no other option. There's always another option, by the way, guys. It's just some options are not as you know, palatable as others, but there's always another option. But I think that I am definitely speaking from experience here that food needs to be treated in this context as an addiction, which means that outside of those mukbangs, although I don't think they should be there either, outside of those mukbangs, it should always be treated as such. And it's like an alcoholic saying, oh, I'm only going to drink on Fridays, no other day, just Fridays, and expecting it to stay there. It's never going to just stay at Fridays. And by Candy having this bad day, giving into it, and opting for pizza, it's just making it that little bit harder next time. And it's teaching yourself that it's okay under those circumstances to break the rules. And you just can't, especially in this kind of situation, give yourself any wiggle room like that, because we're talking about her life here. This is not just, you know, some middle-aged woman who's like, I really want to lose 5 kilos. This is not what we're talking about, right?
Is what it was. Fries. I had fries and ranch, and that's what I had to eat yesterday. No, I haven't been snacking either, so anyway, so I might have been under 400 today had I not been doing out food the last couple of days, you know. And I could have chosen healthier stuff. I could.
And if I'm right about the sodium, I don't know because I wasn't there watching all of her food and water intake. But if it is the sodium and she focused on really good hydration over the next few days, it should even itself out, and the scale should reflect if that was the case.
But I was like, ooh. So I'm thinking today's mukbang, I might try to steer in a healthier direction just because, but I tell you what, it's the season that, I don't know, advertisers aren't advertising as much, maybe, I don't know, but this is the time of year when, you know, the paycheck's a little light. So I don't know. I might still do fast food, so who knows. I'm doing the best I can with what I got, and, you know, and I know where I screwed up this week. I know. I totally know.
It's really good that she knows. It means that we're not dealing with an education issue, but the question becomes, okay, you've acknowledged what went wrong this week, so next week, what are you going to hold yourself accountable to have different results? So I'm really interested to see the next video what that is, if anything.
No excuse for it. And just being naughty, fatty. But hopefully I can get.
And guys, don't do that to yourself. Don't just sit there and say naughty fatty. Like the words you say to yourself are so much more important than the words that external people say. And I sincerely doubt, because I don't think she's fundamentally a bad person at all, I sincerely doubt that Candy would sit there and say those words to anybody else. I think that would be heinous for her. But to sit there and say it to herself, it's not helpful, and it's cruel. And it's almost like finding a way to treat yourself as well as you might treat somebody else or a pet or, you know, whatever, a chicken, that you wouldn't do that to. So why would you do it to yourself?
Get my head back in the space I need it to be this week. Because, man, I'm ready to see some 398, 397. Let's get there. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see y'all next week. Bye now.
Okay, last video. Let's see. Does she turn it around? Does she continue to lose? I am on the edge of my seat. Let's go.
Hey, y'all. Today
That is not a happy face. My goodness.
is Friday. Oh, shoot. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's the 28th. I think that's the date. But I just wanted to touch base with you all.
Sorry, I just realized I forgot to say. So this one was released on the 1st of March.
Yeah, I did my weigh-in last night. It was already late. I had eaten already. I had, you know, I'd already had my day. So it was late. I don't even want to step on the scale today. I'm like, I want to do my best to do good this week, you know, as best as I can. You know, and do my weigh-in next Friday, you know, and hopefully I will see the movement in the direction that I want to see it. Hopefully. Lord help me. Come on. Come on, Candy. I was like, I'm still like really confused because for the majority of last week, I felt like I was doing great, but you know, unless I'm keeping track of every little thing I put in me, you know, who knows?
So this language is concerning. And yes, she should be keeping track of every little thing that goes in if she wants to be informed about what her body is doing. And I advocate that anyway, because in the circumstance that, you know, there is something wrong that's preventing her from losing weight the way she should, then there's a log that she can take to her doctor. And that's really important. But in the meantime, it might bring to her awareness an area that she's falling down in. And I was about to say something else and have completely forgotten. I'll get back to you.
So many excuses. I could be swollen, I could be this, could be that. But whatever, it's probably water weight again. But 6 pounds of water weight, it's not, who knows. Anyway, I'm gonna definitely do my weigh-in next week. I'll just go ahead and wait it out and not, ruin my surprise for my Friday.
So I may have been thinking about something else. There's only so much CPU in my brain. Did she say that she weighed in early and it's already been a bad result? Because I don't want to go back. I won't make you watch it again. 6 pounds of quote unquote water weight. That's, yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna cook tonight. I wanted to cook for my mukbang, and it's really late right now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I still want to cook, but I don't know. So I may or may not order a little something for the mukbang, because I'm actually not even that hungry right now. Oh God. Ooh, so I just got ready. I mean, oh Lord, have mercy.
So it is concerning if she's saying she's not even hungry and yet she's gonna stuff that food down anyway. I don't like that. I don't like anything that overrides a natural bio rhythm of telling you things. And I think that like millennials and older in particular really struggle with this, because we were taught to finish everything on our plate, and in some circumstances told that we couldn't leave the table until everything was gone. And that's a real issue, because that's then saying to the child, oh no, it's not about what you think your body needs. It's actually about what I put on the plate, and I'm dictating to you that you need to just eat all of this. So then we learn, or rather unlearn, our own systems telling us, oh no, we're full, we're good. And rather we just keep eating. I still struggle with this, and I really try to put less on my plate, because I still have that little nagging thing in the back of my head. You've got to finish what's on your plate. And it's not at all conducive to a good relationship with food. And to be sitting there saying, I don't feel like eating, well, maybe then you shouldn't be eating. And if you need to do mukbangs, then why not record them at a time where you would be eating or feel like eating? Or, like I've said before, why not film every day? Just pick a meal and film it every day. Yes, you will lose the eccentric interest crowd, but do we really want those here at this point anyway? Because they're essentially unaliving her at this point.
This is so hard. I've got steaks in my refrigerator. I've got chicken in my refrigerator. I've got food I need to cook. I've got butternut squash. I've got sweet potatoes. I've got kale. I've got salad. I've got all of these good things that I can eat. So I don't know. I'm thinking I might do some little thing from a fast food place, like as low calorie as I can possibly get it, and then eat an actual decent meal later on tonight before I go to bed. Well, not before I go to bed, but about 3 or 4 hours before I go to bed. I don't go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning, y'all. I mean, I am on the night shift right now. I don't know what's causing it. I'll even try to go to bed. Like, I've tried to go to bed at midnight, and I just lay there for like an hour and a half, frustrated with myself.
Yeah, I mean, this can happen when you don't do anything in your day, when there's no structure of routine for your body to get into a natural biorhythm and circadian rhythm. And although I do absolutely believe that there are morning and there are night people. I'm a night person myself, although my roosters disagree with this theory. But to keep such a, like, to keep a lifestyle where everything is just kind of melding into one, yeah, your brain doesn't know what to do with that information. It's, you know, so beneficial to create that nice, stable routine for yourself.
You know, so I'll get up and I'll try again about 3 in the morning, you know, and I'm, you know, still no luck. And that's even taking the trazodone, you know, which is what I'm prescribed for insomnia. But, you know, I don't know. I just got too much going on in my brain right now. You know, I mentioned having a little bit of stress, and I didn't want to get into it. You know, I really didn't want to get into it because it's not my business to like put the information out there, but
I have a feeling she's about to tell us anyway. But see, this kind of thing too, I think is just highlighting that there is a lack of coping mechanisms set up in her life, because when you enrich your life with hobbies or loved ones or, you know, whatever it is that floats your boat, when you get into that kind of headspace where your head is going, oh, I can't, you know, I can't handle this, I'm going to loop, I'm going to ruminate, I'm going to race, and that's going to stop you from sleeping. Well, that's where those set up coping mechanisms come in, right? It's almost like a little bit of self-therapy, in the sense that when you need to go to the toilet, you go to the toilet. When you feel like unclean, then you have a shower. When you feel like you're hungry, you eat. Well, when you're stressed, you do something that feeds that side of your brain. So not so much these days, but when I was keeping my anxiety under control, I knew that there were key things that would you know, make my brain quiet. And that is things like playing guitar, it's things like doing craft, or gardening or exercise. So depending on the time of day, of course, I would then pick one, do that. If that didn't work, do another one, you know, and you just move through them. Eventually one of them will work. And by far the best one that I found was exercise. However, Rosebud, you're a night owl too. Yes, night owls unite. There's a little bit of a social acceptance to shame night owls, which I don't like. But anyway, the thing about, when you think about it on like a base level behavior, when we're experiencing anxiety, that's triggering the fight, flight, or freeze response. And if you think about that in practical terms, like say we're, you know, in the African plains or something, and we've been found by a lioness and she's going to kill us, right? Or unalive us. Oh no, I said a bad word. If you survive that encounter, then you've probably run, you've probably celebrated, you've probably connected with loved ones, which allows this cycle of flight, fight or freeze to have a natural conclusion. But the reality is, these days we don't have those kind of raw experiences mostly. So the anxieties are coming from these other things that the brain is trying to say, yes, this is a life-threatening thing. So what exercise can mimic is the running, which is a conclusion to the anxiety response, if that makes sense. Not that Candy can run, but you get my point. You get my point.
I have a couple of family members that are, you know, I'm really, really worried about right now. So, I mean, and that doesn't have anything to do with me or my diet or whatever. And I'm not like stress eating or anything, but you know, stress is cortisol, and you know, I don't know what that can do to the body. That plus not sleeping, plus too much sodium in the stuff that I've been eating. So I don't know what I'm trying to figure out, like what I do today for my mukbang that is somewhat healthy. And I'm thinking if Panera is still open, I might do that, but 8:30 already. It's a little probably after 8:30 now. Yeah, well, I'm sure it is because it was 8:30 when I looked. But Panera Bread had some pretty low calorie, decent looking food. So I might either do that or like Chipotle or something. I don't know, just something less than 1,000 calories if I can handle that. So I can at least eat something healthy tonight. Like, something that I cook for myself.
For my Americans, are either of those things really healthy options? I don't know either of those places, but if she's talking about under 1,000 calories, if that's like what's on the menu, I'm thinking that they're probably just, in the way that like Subway is quote unquote health food, but really their bread is not even considered bread in some countries because of the sugar content. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
I mean, I'm gonna try to buy something healthy, but I don't know. I could just go in the kitchen and start cooking. I could just do that. I don't know. It's like I'm battling myself again. I'm always battling.
That right there, that's what I was talking about in my chapter 1 video for Candy. She's triggered herself. She's triggered herself in the sense that she's felt like she's not eating enough, and now she's swinging back around to crop load. And that is a really, really bad part of her cycle, and what I would like to see her to deal with the trauma that's causing her to cycle like this, because I do think her childhood, it makes sense why that's a trigger. But at 53, should it still be a trigger is my question. There's been, from what I can tell, no development in her personality or interests or anything in that department that would help her with all of these things. So she's got nothing to fall back on except food to make her feel better. Chipotle is rice and beans. Cheese is optional. Yeah. I wonder how much sugar and sodium is in their food, though. Yeah, see, Chipotle kind of sounds like it's probably not the best option for her. I'll have to look it up. I enjoy combing through the nutrition of everything. I've been meaning to do a What the Cluck Are You Eating series. It's just I have so many video ideas and not enough time to make them. I'm like squeezing in time where I can find it, and I don't know, maybe one day.
Anyway, I love you guys, and I just wanted to show y'all my face for what it's worth. I'm here, and I ain't about to quit, even if I have a bad week. Even if I screw up and gain weight, I mean, I ain't done. I ain't through playing. But I love y'all, and I will see y'all again next time. Bye now. Mwah. Ooh, so I decided to order Korean food for the first time on the channel. It seemed like a fairly healthy option. I do love watching Korean mukbangs, so.
Japanese barbecue. Okay, so we're probably going to have a lot of sugar in the sauces and a lot of sodium.
This is kind of an homage, I hope. I've got on the side of the bento box that I ordered, I have chili garlic oil tofu and some kimchi. So hopefully I can make the spread look nice and get plenty of clicks, and it be at least a healthier choice than my normal fare.
Also, oils are so sneaky. I don't know if anyone here has looked into the amount of calories for the tiniest bit of oil, and it was my downfall for so long. I realized that I had a blind spot for oil, and they sneak it into a lot of things, and it's usually in amounts that are not good, but it adds phenomenal amounts of calories to things. And yeah, the fact that she's just said that doesn't, I don't hold a lot of hope for this meal.
So we shall see. Anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that that's what I did tonight. And I don't feel bad about it. I probably won't be ordering or cooking cooking anything else later, but I do have a couple little snacky things. I got some Outshine bars. They're like 100 calories. I believe it's 100 calories. I couldn't say exactly, but I had one last night. It's a mango tahini little popsicle. It was really nice. So I gotta keep the very low calorie snacks in the house if I have to snack. I think I might still get in the kitchen tonight and pre-boil my purple potatoes so they can go in the refrigerator and become, what do they call it, starch resistant. I keep seeing that. Like if you cook rice, put it in the fridge, and you know, it's like next day rice is actually better for you because it's like starch resistant. I don't understand what all that.
Anyone heard of that? I've never heard of that. I'm sus on it. You can wash the starches out to a degree, like, because they kind of accumulate when it's been boiled. They accumulate in the water, but I don't know about that.
Means exactly, but it's supposed to not spike your blood sugar as much when you eat like potatoes and rice and noodles and things like that. So I don't know. I got to do more research on all this stuff. I'm just doing the best I can here.
See, so that's overthinking it though, isn't it? I want to see her return back to that calorie in, calorie out, simple math. It's just everything else starts to just, you get in your own head and then you wonder if you're doing the right thing. And like, I've noticed that there are a lot of influencers, nutritional and fitness influencers out there, if you're looking at like shorts or TikTok or whatever, that say something, but they don't necessarily back up the context of it. So as an example, I saw one guy holding up a sweet potato and holding up just a normal white potato and saying, you know, these are really similar in calories, so you know, you may as well, but they're not similar in every way. And he was only speaking about it from a calorie way, which unless you understand what you're listening to with nutrition, you may not have picked up on. And to have a white potato is incredibly different nutritionally than to have a sweet potato. But I think complicating this with these like starch things, calories in, calories out, do the best you can.
But I hope I don't get too much hate for the Korean mukbang. We shall see. Bye, y'all.
Okay, so we didn't really get a resolution. I guess we will have to wait and see for her weigh-in that's coming this week. And like I said, I'm planning on doing live streams now fairly regularly. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. But it's I think a really cool way to catch up with these people in real time while I'm doing these historical deep dives, because I still need to know contextually what's happening with all of these people as it's happening. So thank you so much for coming and watching, and for those people who are chatting to me, I really appreciate it. But I also see that there were some lurkers in there as well, and so thank you so much. I'm normally one of you people, so I'm very grateful that you come and watch. So if you could give me a like, that would be awesome. But I think that's all the clucks I have left to give today. Stay golden, my little nuggets, and I'll catch you next time.